जय हिंद।
The address to the nation by the Honorable President of India. Dear fellow citizens, Namaskar. My heartiest greetings to all of you in India and abroad on the eve of the 73rd Republic Day. It was on this day in 1950 that India was established as the largest democratic republic, and we, the people, put into effect a constitution that is an inspired document of our collective action. The diversity and vibrancy of our democracy is appreciated worldwide. It is the spirit of unity out of being one nation which is celebrated every year as Republic Day. We are immensely fortunate that the Constituent Assembly, which prepared the document, included some of the best minds of their generation. They were the leading lights of our great freedom struggle. After long years, the soul of India was reawakening, and these exceptional men and women were the harbingers of a new dawn. They discussed threadbare every article, every phrase, and every word on behalf of the people. While the text of the Constitution, dealing with the details of the working of the state, is quite long, the preamble sums up its guiding principles: democracy, justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. They form the bedrock on which our republic stands. These values have been accorded primacy in our Constitution in the form of fundamental rights and fundamental duties of the citizens. Rights and duties are two sides of the same coin. The observance of the fundamental duties mentioned in the Constitution by the citizens creates the proper environment for enjoyment of fundamental rights. By fulfilling the fundamental duty of rendering national service when called upon to do so, crores of our people have transformed the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and the COVID vaccination drive into mass movements. A great deal of credit for the success of such campaigns goes to our citizens. Writing in 1930, Mahatma Gandhi had advised fellow citizens how Purna Swaraj Day. Purna Swaraj Day was the day in 1929 when Congress called for the independence of India. And that was the day when on 26 January 1930, which was done. So 1950 when we did it, the Constitution Assembly, the Constitution was actually prepared on 26 November 1949. But we did it on 26 because of that. So Mahatma Gandhi had advised fellow citizens how Purna Swaraj Day was to be celebrated. He wanted us to look inside, introspect, and strive to become better human beings, and then also look outside, join hands with others, and contribute towards the making of a better India and a better world. Dear fellow citizens, it has been over 2 years now, and mankind is still battling with the coronavirus. Hundreds of thousands of lives have been lost, and the world economy has been reeling under the impact. The world has suffered from unprecedented misery, and surge after surge of new variants have been posing new crises. It has been an extraordinary challenge to humankind. Pandemic management was bound to be all the more difficult in India. We have high population density, and as a developing economy, we did not have the level of resources and infrastructure needed to battle this invisible enemy. But it is only in such difficult times that the resilience of a nation shines forth. I am proud to say that we have shown an unmatched resolve against the coronavirus. In the first year itself, we raised the healthcare infrastructure and reached out to help others. By the second year, we have developed indigenous vaccines and launched the world's biggest vaccination drive in history. This vaccination drive is progressing at a quick pace in our country. During the pandemic, we have reached out to several other countries with vaccines and other medical help. The leadership, policymakers, administrators, and others at the central and state levels have made timely interventions. Due to such interventions, the economy is on the move again. It is a testimony to India's spirit in the face of adversity that the economy is projected to grow at an impressive rate in this fiscal year, after going through contraction last year. This shows the success of the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan launched in the previous year. Small and medium enterprises have played an important role in providing employment to people and imparting impetus to the economy. Our innovative young entrepreneurs have set up new benchmarks of success by making effective use of the startup ecosystem. It is a testimony to the success of our country's massive and robust digital payment platform, and millions of digital transactions are being done every month. To reap the democratic dividend that India is going through, the government has created the right environment with a national education policy that makes a perfect blend of traditional values and modern skills. It is gratifying to note that India has found a place among the top 50 innovative economies of the world. It is all the more satisfying to note that we have been able to promote merit while also stressing upon all-around inclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, in the past year, our sports persons also got cheers as they made their mark at the Olympics. The self-confidence of these young champions inspires millions today. In the recent months, I have witnessed remarkable examples of our people strengthening the country and the society through their commitment and action in diverse areas. President then goes on to give a few examples of what he said, but I'm not going to go through that. I'll move to our armed forces, where they say it is thanks to the constant vigil of the armed forces securing our borders and the police personnel maintaining internal security within the country that the fellow citizens enjoy a peaceful life. When a brave soldier dies on duty, the entire country feels sad. Last month, in an unfortunate accident, we lost one of the bravest commanders of the country, General Bipin Rawat, his wife and many brave soldiers. The entire country was deeply saddened by the tragic loss. Ladies and gentlemen, patriotism strengthens the sense of duty among citizens. Whether you are a doctor or a lawyer, a shopkeeper or office worker, a sanitation employee or a labourer, doing one's duty well and efficiently is the first and foremost contribution you make to the country. As the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, I am glad to note that it has been a watershed year for women empowerment in the armed forces. Our daughters have broken the glass ceiling, and permanent commission has now been allowed for women officers in new areas. Also, the talent pipeline for the forces will be strengthened, with women now coming through Sainik schools and the prestigious National Defence Academy. Consequently, our armed forces will benefit from better gender balance. I am confident that India is better placed today to meet the challenges of the future. The 21st century is turning out to be the age of climate change, and India has taken a leadership position on the world stage in showing the way, especially with its bold and ambitious push for renewable energy. At the individual level, each one of us can remember Gandhiji's advice and help improve the world around us. India has always considered the whole world as one family. I am sure that inspired by the spirit of universal brotherhood, our country and the entire global community will move towards a more equitable and prosperous future. This year, India will cross a milestone when it completes 75 years of independence. We are celebrating this occasion as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. It is heartening to note that our people, especially youngsters, are participating enthusiastically in a variety of events and programs. Our freedom struggle was an inspiring chapter in our splendid saga in the 75th year of independence. Let us rediscover the values that animated our glorious national movement. Ladies and gentlemen, India is an ancient civilization but a young republic. For us, nation building is a constant endeavor. As in a family, so in a nation. One generation works hard to ensure a better future for the next generation. When we won independence, the exploitation of colonial rule had left us in utter poverty. But in 75 years, we have made impressive progress. New opportunities await the next generation. Our youth have taken advantage of these opportunities and set new benchmarks of success. I am sure that with this energy, confidence and entrepreneurship, our country will continue to march ahead on the path of progress and will definitely secure its rightful place, befitting its potential in the global community. I once again wish you all a happy Republic Day. Thank you. Jai Hind. This is the President's message. I just wanted to speak to all of you because this is the first time I'm going to speak to you. You're going to have to listen to me for the next 3 years at least. So, but the whole thing that on Republic Day, which is something we sometimes forget, is the actual significance of Republic Day. I mean, it's just a day for celebration, it's a day when the Constitution adopted. All that is fine. But at the essence of it, the philosophical moorings of Republic Day is something which should pervade all of us. Because many of us, especially in the foreign service, those who are abroad, we do not actually work in a country. So the speech when you heard is mostly for citizens in the country. Sometimes they don't understand that citizens abroad have an equal right and equal duty and equal responsibility to work. And so to inspire people, I've always told the President when I met him last and Prime Minister also that we should actually be speaking to people abroad more in our Republic Day and Independence Day speeches, and hopefully it will happen. But the whole idea is that to be free is something which, unless you are in shackles, you will never understand. So when you take freedom for granted, then you think that everything around you is easy, that life has made it easy for you. Especially we abroad, we find it easy. So the sense of duty that is there, the fundamental rights and duties that we talked about, we always ensure that our rights are good, but the duties that we have, we sometimes forget. Especially in an exterior context when we are working abroad. This is a great country where we are working, We are in a country with a relationship with which we have no contentious issues. It's like a blank slate where whatever we build, we'll build upon this. There is a lot of potential. This is a country with a huge past, a past where it was at one time the greatest empire in the world. And so the whole idea, and the reason they didn't go there was because of one Queen Isabella of Castile who signed the Treaty of Thessaloniki with the Portuguese to divide the world into two parts. So the Spanish never went to the east of the world. They only went to the west. The only place they went east is because they went all the way around west and reached Philippines. Otherwise, the Spanish did not come to this part of the world. Otherwise, if they have come, probably many of us would be speaking Spanish. One never knows. But the whole idea is, let's build on this. The whole idea of freedom, because Independence Day is when we got our freedom. But if you remember right, we were still under the British. We were a Commonwealth dominion. The Governor General of the British Commonwealth was the head of the state till 1950. Becoming independent, having your own president, having your own right to vote your government into power, having the whole right to vote your government out of power, to have fundamental rights, duties, to be a sovereign republic. These are philosophical moorings. Unless you think deeply, you will never understand. So these are things which I want you to imbibe, because when we work here, sometimes your work doesn't seem concrete. You think you're just doing something on paper. How does it affect things back home? And you realize that every little bit that we do here has a lot of effect back home. Every investment that you take back home has an effect on huge amount of job creation back home. Every tourist who goes, every political decision that you take has an impact back home. The image that you show abroad tells people what you are, and you are the representatives. So your image abroad becomes more important, because that's how people look at you. So my thing is, we will work together, we will do a lot of things, but on this day, let's resolve to work harder, to work better, and see what we can do. What Gandhiji said, look inside, introspect, do better, but hold hands with others to do much better than that. Thank you very much and have a great public day.